Margaret Kirlock, and I too want to thank Senator Lynn Ruane and Senator Eileen Flynn and the Civil Engagement Group for bringing this motion here today. Minister, I'm delighted to welcome you to the House. And I want to really welcome Housing Action Now, the group, and I understand there's a group of artists as well. I apologise, I don't know the title or the name of that group, but I have heard about your work and I commend you for it. Minister, I'm delighted that you have come to the House here today to debate this issue with us. As Senator Flynn said, we've debated housing many times since the new government was formed. And you know, Minister, that I come from a very working class background here in the North Inner City and Cabra-Glasnevin of Dublin Central. And from when I was first elected in 2004 to Dublin City Council, housing has been the issue that has been the biggest pressure on people living in my community. People working, people not working, people with disabilities, people who are able, people young and people old. And it's no announcement that, you know, this government is trying to deal with and respond to a housing crisis. But I think the way Senator Ruane and Senator Flynn brought in the real lived experience, the real life experience, so much of it resonated with me. They are experiences that are so familiar to me, and I believe are very familiar to probably a lot of members of this House. The exhaustion, the physical and the mental exhaustion that is created by the insecurity of housing. The pressure, the mental pressure, the missed life opportunities, the stolen experiences. It's cruel and it's inexcusable and it's unacceptable in a country like ours that is rich and is developed and is free and is part of the European Union. Last June, on behalf of the Fianna Fáil group, I brought a similar motion on housing to this House, and I was, at the time, this House, the majority at least, there was almost unanimity, but it wasn't quite unanimity, but the majority agreed with the motion that said that we believe that a secure home is a basic human right. And we also said that COVID really highlighted the essential protection a secure home provides an individual. And we said that far too many of our citizens are homeless, that essential middle-income workers are struggling to secure an affordable home, that young people should be reasonably able to expect a secure and affordable home, and that the state has a responsibility to protect citizens' rights to a home. Now, we did at the time, Minister, acknowledge that there's a new government and that there were historic changes being made, but we went further and we called on the government to exercise every available resource to achieve a sustainable housing supply for every Irish citizen, so that every Irish citizen could have a safe and secure home. And we also called on the Minister and the government at the time to ensure that every Irish citizen would have an opportunity through a constitutional referendum to insert the right to housing in our constitution, because it's broadly accepted. We see the right to housing as a basic human right, but our constitution is silent on that. And it was referenced failures, and that's what they were failures. We haven't a housing crisis because somebody succeeded. We have a housing crisis because there were failures. And to change that, we have to change it from the very top. We have to say, from the very highest level, as a state, we believe housing is a basic human right. And that's what we pushed for, and that's what there was almost unanimity in this House for. So, Minister, I'm going to return to that, but I do want to, I suppose, acknowledge that in the intervening period, so from June of 2021 on, we have had Housing for All. There has been a historic commitment of €20 billion to deliver 300,000 homes. That is an enormous commitment from the state, and it's one I'm confident that the government is committed to delivering. But I'm going to continue to push for the referendum on housing, because as certain as night follows day, there will be another election at some point, and there will be another government. And I believe that we have to ensure that the right to housing is something that is enshrined in our Constitution, so that it is something that is protected by our Constitution and is asserted in our Constitution, and every government, regardless of their political persuasion, is mandated to deliver on it. I think in Housing for All, there's a lot that is going to help us move in the right direction. The commitment to use state-owned lands to build social and affordable homes. The commitment actually in terms of delivering 10,000 new social homes every year. The housing lists that have been spoken about, the fact that people, not only have they not maybe moved up on housing lists, some have actually had the really negative and deflating experience of moving down on the housing list because of the increasing lengths of the housing list. The other actions, and I'll be very brief, around the tackling of vacancy, the increasing of delivery of new build homes, the protections for renters, all of those in the short term are very important. But Minister, in terms of a long-term action to ensure that failures cannot be repeated in the future, I would appreciate if you can update the House today on the referendum on a right to housing.
Thank you. Thank you.